everyone and welcome to this week's Sam versus Lee. At the end of last week, if you remember, you had got a point back. So it was 4.5 to me, 3.5 to you.
Closing the gap, yeah.
Bit worrying. But we had differential picks from the double game week teams going into this week. So none of the Salahs and the Trents and all of those guys.
It's actually quite hard, wasn't it?
Yeah, players.
Neither of us had
10%.
Henderson, though, I don't think.
No, unfortunately, no one had Henderson.
He was the one, wasn't
he? Your team, you picked Gomez, who got you a nice 8 points.
Okay.
Decent return.
Right, well done, Joe.
You had Snodgrass, who just about made it through the second game week.
Yeah.
Game of the week.
Didn't get anything in that Liverpool game, though.
No, so got you 3.
Okay.
And then Wijnaldum, who also didn't do much, but did get you 5. So total of 16 there.
I'm not sure that's going to be good enough.
So I went with the goalkeeper.
What noise is that? That's you saying, I know I won this. This is in the bag. Go on.
I went with the goalkeeper. So Alisson, nice 9-pointer from him.
Yeah.
And then I had tonight's goal scorer, Alex Oxley.
Oh, nice. The Ox coming through for you.
Yep.
Good
got
lad.
bonus points tonight as well. So he got 12.
Oh, that's it. It's done.
And Lanzini did nothing. With 4.
See Lanzini getting booed off the pitch by his own fans? Oh, what's going on there? Difficult for him.
So 25 for me. So I make that 5.5, 3.5.
Okay, I'll take the L, no problem. I'll take it.
Last week you said that you wanted to hand over the reins of the theme choosing to you guys out there that watch us each week. So we've now decided that is what we're going to do moving forward. So if you've got any theme ideas for next week, drop it in the comments.
Yes.
We will draw the theme live. Well, not live, but we will record it live.
You put it on Insta, don't you?
Pop it up on our Insta stories. It will go up on Saturday, the Insta stories. So make sure you head over to Instagram, see what the theme is going to be for next week's video. Lee, the theme for this week?
So the theme for this week, I thought was going to be really easy, and then I looked at it a bit more, and it's actually really hard. So massive thank you to Taylor Eckhart, who got in the comments of the last Sam versus Lee video and said, Lee and Sam, you should pick 3 players, and again, we've got to stick with our theme of defender, midfielder, striker.
Yeah.
3 players of the same nationality. Sounds easy, doesn't it? I can tell you, it's not easy. No, it's not easy.
What we've kind of discovered is it's really difficult, isn't it? Because you kind of think, oh, I'd like that one.
Yeah.
And then you don't have a forward.
Or you have a really good defender and a midfielder, and then there's I couldn't find a decent, if you can tell me a decent Spanish forward, guys, in the Premier League, get in the comments below. I'd love to hear it, because I cannot find one. We have ruled out, we should say at this point, we've ruled out England. Yeah. So we're not having England, because that is probably a little bit easy, and which one of us picked England would have a bit of an advantage. But I've enjoyed researching this. This has been mind-blowing to me. So did you know, Sam, 9%, so this is, so here we go, so I'll test you then. Which, after England, which is the most represented country, the most represented nation in the Premier League? It's France. 9% of players.
Is it?
French players, yes.
France?
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have said that.
31 French players in the Premier League.
Goodness.
Next is Spain, 27%. 27 players, I should say, 7.9% of the Premier League players are Spanish.
Wow.
Then it's Brazil, 6.1%. Ireland, also 6.1%. Netherlands, 5.2%. Portugal, 5%. Argentina, 4.7%. Scotland, 4.4%. And then there's a whole host of other countries, of course.
I'm genuinely surprised there's that many French players in the Premier League.
So those are the nations that we're probably going to pick from, because those are the ones that have got the most players, right? Yeah. So, for example, if you wanted to pick France as your nation, that's 31 players you could pick from. Decent pool of players to pick from.
Yeah.
But then if you look at Spain, 27 Spanish players in the Premier League, and if I go into it, I'd find plenty of decent defenders and midfielders, but could I find a decent Spanish forward, guys? I could not.
Probably since Morata's left, there's not really been one.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, I could have Hector Bellerin, right, as my defender, or I could have Adama Traore as my midfielder. He's Spanish. Azpilicueta for Chelsea as my defender, or I could have, let's see, I don't know, David Silva as my midfielder. I could have Juan Mato, who's come back and got a couple of assists recently, but cannot find a decent forward. So it kind of rules out Spain. Very, very difficult. So that's what we're doing, guys. Every player, the defender, midfielder and attacker that we're picking has to be the same nationality. What nationality, Sam, have you gone for?
Well, I mean, if I'm going to get first pick, then of course I'm going to go with arguably the best footballing country
Go on.
in the world.
Brazil. Okay, Brazil. So Brazil, guys, is the third most represented. This is good, this. I've enjoyed researching this. My inner geek has come out.
Taylor, you have pleased me
Taylor,
with this.
love this suggestion, guys. Get in the comments for next week. I want something as good as Taylor's. Third most represented nation in the Premier League. 6.1% of the Premier League are Brazilians. 21 Brazilian players you can choose from, including a pool that includes the likes of Alisson, Edison, Fabinho, Richarlison, Felipe Anderson, Willian, Wesley, well, they're not going to pick him at the minute, Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa, Gabriel Martinelli from Arsenal, which is interesting, Fernandinho, Bernardo, the left-back at Brighton, and then Aurelio Gomez, if you really want to pick.
Jesus, Lucas Moura,
There's loads.
so many.
Absolutely loads to pick from. So, plenty of Brazilians that you could choose from. Talk to me about your defender. Who are you going for?
Okay. So, this week, I've decided to actually keep the faith with my defender of choice from last week.
Okay.
And I'm going to stick with Alisson. I don't think you
Okay,
can kind
alright.
of go wrong with...
Not much upside, goalkeeper. Are you sure?
No, but you can't go wrong. It's kind of a guaranteed
Okay.
banker. You would hope that there'd be some points, although they are playing against Southampton with Danny Ings, who's in form. So, you know, maybe not so much the guaranteed 6-pointer, but 7 clean sheets in the last 8 games. You know, that's good form.
It's looking good. Liverpool tough to score past. You're
For
not going to get
sure.
much upside, but
Might score
the
a
clean sheet
penalty,
looks
maybe
okay.
not.
But Saints' away form has been good recently, and of course they've got the Danny Ings factor. They offer a lot of pace on the counter-attack as well with the likes of Gineppo and Redmond, and of course you've got JWP being that workhorse in the middle, so it won't be easy for Liverpool at the weekend.
Won't be easy, but arguably the best keeper in the world, so...
Nothing
Go on with
arguably
him.
about it, to be honest with you. Okay, go on then. Midfielder?
oh, you want mine? I thought you were going to tell me your defender of
No,
choice.
go on, let's do the whole nation first, and then I'll
Okay.
do my nation.
All
So
right.
go on then.
So, back to London then.
Yes.
To Chelsea and Willian. I think...
Okay.
You know, hasn't actually been on the best form of late. Last attacking return was an assist in Gameweek 22. Relatively low ownership at just 5.9%. I mean, I'm going to cost you kind of 7.2 million now. If you're looking for a replacement for Mane at the back of Gameweek 24's injury, then maybe Willian's not such a bad shout. They are away at Leicester, which on paper is a really tough game, but...
Leicester looking shaky recently.
Exactly. Defensively,
okay.
Leicester not looking that solid.
Do you think that's because Wilfred Ndidi's been out injured? Ndidi's going to be back. I think he played in the League Cup, although
but that was shaky again. You know, Aston Villa.
Yeah, I wonder
looks
whether he
good
was
in
fully
that
up to
game.
speed, because he kind of didn't he come
Maybe.
on because his replacement that was playing there went off injured, so indeed he kind of had to come on and probably play more minutes than Rodgers wanted him to play.
Potentially, I just think that Leicester are looking a little bit wobbly. They're going for a little bit of a sticky patch right now, and Chelsea, I can see Willian being the sort of player that if Tammy Abraham isn't fit to play in that game, kind of steps up and says, you know,
He's a senior player, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
4 goals
see it
already
going
this season
well.
for Willian.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
okay.
yeah, he's my midfielder of choice.
All right, very good. Join the league on October the 6th, 2013, if you're interested.
It's going to be a random stat
Great,
one.
love this. Go on.
Okay, and then my attacker, probably the cheapest of the Brazilians that you'll ever get to pick as an FPL asset in the
Okay,
Premier
yeah.
League. Sticking in North London with Martinelli.
Yes, okay.
Now,
I think I like that. I mean, Aubameyang is going to be back, so what impact is that going to have on Martinelli?
I mean, it is a bit of a risk because obviously Martinelli's been playing as a result of Aubameyang's suspension over the last couple of game weeks, but has returned in the last 2 weeks, 8 points and 8 points in games
He's a
23
nice
and 24.
player, isn't he?
Yeah,
I really like him.
and kind of has put out justification to start in the game at the weekend against Burnley.
The
Now,
composure for that Chelsea goal as he was running through, and the finish was sensational. I do like it. Very, very young player, isn't he? But he's earning the right.
I just can see him playing alongside Aubameyang somehow in that game. I just don't think that Arteta can drop him after how well he's played in those last couple of games. So yeah, gonna cost you 4.5 million.
Cheap as chips, isn't he? Yeah.
If you want a cheap attacker, I think he looks like a great option, and he's only owned by 2.8% of the game, so nice differential.
I think even at 4.5, if you bring him in and then Arteta benches him, there's a reasonable chance you're going to get some minutes off the bench. And at 4.5, if your strategy is to have that cheap forward, he's got to be one to look at, hasn't he?
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so those
Very
are
nice.
my Brazilians.
Those are your Brazilian picks. So just talk us through it again. Alisson,
Willian
Willian,
and Martinelli.
Martinelli. I'm Okay, all right, okay. No Firmino in there.
No, it's at home.
Okay, all right. Okay, so my nation is almost the polar opposite, actually, of Brazil. I mean, if you think about how how these nations perform at World Cups and competitions, I'm going just north of here to Scotland. Scotland, I'm going to.
You've got the whole world to pick from. The whole world of football.
Listen,
John McGinn's injured.
There's some fantastic Scottish picks out there, Sam, I can tell you. Some absolutely...
Well, I can think of one that's guaranteed to be in your back line.
Fantastic Scottish picks. The first one, of course, you've probably rightly guessed, is Andrew Robertson from Liverpool. He's got to be in there. Not only is he going to beat your Alisson pick just organically, because if Liverpool get the clean sheet, he's coming in with the clean sheet too, probably. And of course, there's some upside with the assists and not so much on the goal threat, but of course, there's assist potential with Andy Robertson. I ain't going to spend any more time justifying Andy Robertson as my pick as the Scottish defender of choice. He is straight in there.
Scotland!
He's absolutely sensational. In midfield, I'm going to go for a player that up until just before we come on recording, or certainly we were watching or indeed listening to the West Ham versus Liverpool game, and Robert Snodgrass played in that game. Now,
right, so I've gone Alisson 2 weeks in a row, and you're putting your eggs back in the Snodgrass basket.
Yeah. This Scottish Messi, isn't it? No, that's Ryan Fraser. I don't know.
That's Ryan Fraser.
They're all like Messi in Scotland. Come on, they're all like Messi. So Robert Snodgrass obviously looked injured going into that game against Liverpool, or that was the thinking, because he obviously got injured in the previous game against Leicester, and then of course he played the full 90 minutes against Liverpool. Now obviously didn't get any FPL returns in that, in a 2-0 defeat, which obviously you're upset about. I understand that. Given that you brought him in just before the double game week, but wasn't expecting him to get too much out of that double. Leicester and Liverpool were difficult games. Now they play Brighton at home in game week 20. Where are we now? 25. Now we know that Brighton don't travel well, right? They're a different team when they play at home, but they don't travel well. If West Ham were playing anybody else, I probably wouldn't touch Snodgrass, or frankly West Ham for that matter. I think West Ham have got, it's a whole nother video, right, talking about West Ham's problems up and down the club, but I do think that they will get a result against Brighton at home in the London Stadium, because I just don't think the Seagulls defend very well on the road at all. And if anything's going to happen for West Ham, it's going to come, and the reason I think you brought him in was it's going to come from Snodgrass. It's probably going to come from a set piece, a free kick. That's where they're going to get their joy right now. They're not exactly free-flowing football. We spoke before about Lanzini getting booed off by his own fans, and we've got Felipe Anderson not in any form whatsoever. So that creativity behind Haller that we all were expecting to bear some fruit at the beginning of the season is just not there. And instead, the main threat is coming from the dead ball situation. So I'm going to go Robert Snodgrass in midfield. And then up front is a guy that, if you guys haven't checked out the video with myself and Az and Joe on the Scoutcast earlier this week, you'll know that my differential for the next few weeks is Oliver McBurney, and I'm going to back him, doubly back him here on the Fantasy Football Scout channel.
Oliver McBurney basket.
All in on Oliver McBurney.
Wow.
All in on Oliver McBurney. I think he's. And I had a chat with FPL Blade actually in the lead up to the Scoutcast. So if you guys aren't following at FPL_Blade on Twitter, he's your go-to for Sheffield United news. And he was saying that Oliver McBurney is absolutely nailed on now at the front. Mousset's out the way. McBurney's gone from strength to strength. His confidence is growing game by game. And he looks to be nailed on in that first team now. Now, if you look at recent performances, he has got a couple of goals recently, but actually over the last 5 or 6, he's a couple of returns. It's not great, but actually if you look at the fixtures they've played and the teams they've been up against,
they've been very tough lately.
Man City twice, it's Liverpool. They've had a very difficult run, actually, Sheffield United. The tide is about to turn, Sam. Let me tell you, the fixtures look sensational.
Top of the fixture ticker for the
absolutely next 5. They absolutely are. So Sheffield United, absolutely worth looking at right now. If you want defence, it's Dean Henderson, or if you're keeping the faith in Lundstrom, although that's a whole different video as to whether he's going to keep his place. You've got Egan and O'Connell, and Ender Stevens as well looks good in terms of his heat map going forward. So I think all of that goes to say that Sheffield United are going to be good picks for the next few weeks. And if they're going to win games, which I think they are, Oliver McBurney's going to be right up there.
Okay.
Going to be right up there.
So Scotland
versus Brazil. Love this.
What on earth is going to happen
By the way, Sam, just because you asked, and I just want to, I want to give you a bit more
random fact.
A bit more Scottish facts for you. 4.4% of the Premier League are Scots. There's 15 of them, 15 Scots in the Premier League. In terms of market value, Andrew Robertson leads the way. 23 appearances, 1 goal so far this season. You got I could have picked from the likes of Ryan Fraser and Kieran Tierney is injured. John McGinn's injured. Who else we got here? Stuart Armstrong maybe for Saints, don't think so. John Fleck, good on John Fleck.
Oh,
Mr. Trick there.
Mr. Trick there,
Mr.
haven't
Trick
you?
could have had
Okay,
two
so who have
Sheffield
you gone
Uniteds.
for then, before you ramble on about Scotland for the next 20 minutes?
Come on, the Scots. It's going to be Andy Robertson at left back. Easy pick. It's going to be Oliver McBurney up front. Again, I think he's 0.2% owned, by the way. If you want a differential,
Goodness.
Oliver McBurney.
The Oliver McBurney love is strong with you.
Absolutely brilliant. And then in midfield, I'm going for Robert Snodgrass, simply because, not really a West Ham feel, it's more the fact that the Seagulls at Brighton really don't travel very well. And I think if West Ham are going to win, that's going to be from set pieces.
Okay.
So there we go, guys. Those are the picks. Get into the comments below. Let us know, are you Team Brazil or are you Team Scotland, guys? Come on, let's get into this. It's got to be Team Scotland. Oliver McBurney, Snodgrass and Andrew Robertson. What a five-a-side team. If you chuck in John...
A three-a-side team.
If you chuck in John Fleck and... Who's the Scottish goalkeeper? Come on, there's got to be one in here.
I doubt it.
I can't find one, but if you found a Scottish goalkeeper, that is a five-a-side team right there. Guys, thank you for joining us for another Lee versus Sam. Get in the comments below. Team Brazil, Team Brazil, Team Scotland, and we'll see you next time for another Lee versus Sam. Leave us a like before you go. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Bye, guys.